Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Mr. A from Another Watch Time. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the Seiko Prospex Marinemaster, the professional 300 meter series. This is commonly referred to as the tuna cans, and the one that we're gonna talk about today, the one that's that I hold in my collection personally. Now this is a limited edition from a manga slash anime series known as Golgo13, and this is the reference number SBBN023. And I guess I wanted to share to you guys about this today. Alright, so let's get started. Now, before we get started, we should definitely do a brief introduction on the two things that's related to the watch today, which is Golgo13 and Seiko Tunas. As mentioned earlier, Golgo13 is a manga character that's been around for an extremely long time. The character was first introduced in 1968 in the form of a comic, and it has become one of those epic characters that has since lived on beyond its years. It currently holds the title as the oldest manga still in publication, and the main character, Duke Togo, who's known as Golgo13, is our man of the hour. Sorry, pun intended. Now, in the comic, Golgo13 is an assassin who goes through various methods when taking out his targets. His assassination takes place in various settings: air, land, and water. And the watch we have in place today is one that matches his settings as a diver. Now, Seiko has released four variations of the Golgo13 watches: two electronic versions of the watch, which is targeted for land, an air version of the watch in the form of Air Prospex, and last but not least, our SBBN023, which is based off one of the Seiko's Marinemaster, commonly referred to as the tuna can. The images I'm sharing here are from an excellent article from a blog to watch. I'll share the link in the description below for those of you that are interested in learning more about the models and what's available. Now, when it comes to the Seiko Tunas, we have a long history to talk about here. The short story to Seiko Tunas they are a range of watches that allow, that all follow this similar round-shaped case that are almost lugless. The shape of these cases resembles that of a tuna can, and hence they're all affectionately referred to as the Seiko Tunas. Now, within the tuna family, there are countless versions of the watch with unique colors, sizes, and even movements. The first model of the tuna family was released in 1975, and since then the models continue to come out even till this date. Prior to owning the Golgo13 model, I owned a SRP641K1, a long name I know, which is more commonly known as the baby tuna. I had this model on a black steel bracelet, and I really wore the living lights out of this one. The thing, even though it is named the baby tuna, was built like a tank. Although the model was thinner than the regular tunas, this model was hefty in weight and as sturdy as they come. I ended up moving this piece once I acquired the Golgo13, and even after such a long time, wearing this, the model was in such excellent condition, and I'll talk more about this piece in another episode in the future. Going back to the tunas, they come in various models, colors, and movements like I just mentioned. And if I were to discuss all the models that are available in the tuna family, that would definitely be an episode of its own. So I'll provide the link of this article that I'm sharing with you guys right now. And this link, it's coming from the Spring Bar. Now, this is a wonderful article that discusses the history of the tunas and covers all aspects of the pieces, from movements, the dials, and so much more. Now, our guy here today, the SBBN023, is based off of the popular professional model. As mentioned earlier on, this is a limited edition from Seiko to commemorate the Golgo13 series, and 500 of these models were released with a price of 126,000 yen, which is roughly close to about $1,000 US. Now, the piece is no longer available, of course, and it seems that the market rate of the piece seems to be around double of that of the retail, but again, it's fully difficult to gauge the price on this. In terms of the specs, the watch is 48 millimeters wide, with a 15mm thickness and 22mm of lug width. It has the heralded 7C46 quartz movement with a declared battery life of 5 years. The model is water resistant up to 300 meters with a screw down crown with both day and date functions readily available. The watch has a Hardlex crystal which is more resistant, than the regular mineral crystals, and the shell is made out of this metallic black steel, with high polish. And of course, before I forget, in terms of lume, so like with all models, I have my pros and cons with this piece as well. What do I like about the watch? Well, I love that this is a quartz piece that I can let sit on its own, in the watch case. And when I take it out, slap it on my wrist, I'm good to go any day. As mentioned in my previous video, I moved away from my SBGX337, which was a high automatic quartz piece. And this has taken over its place as my non-mechanical go-to piece. The color accents of the watch is also striking. The black, white, and the red color schemes work very well. And it's actually easy to pair with most of my attires, whether it's casual or even somewhat semi-dressy. Now, with that being said, what do I not like about this watch? The shell of the watch, while it does look great, is extremely smudge prone, and I can tell by the material that it is something that it will be easy to scratch when it comes to this piece. I've been lucky so far and the piece looks as clean as I got it day one, but I can tell that it is a piece that I need to be cautious of when I have it on my wrist. But really, that's the only downside to it. So where does the Golgo13 sit in terms of my collection? It's complicated. I like the piece, but I realized that I actually do not wear it as much as I would like to. I try to figure out what the reason might be, and I think it's that in general, I'm not really drawn to the color black. Now, I know I mentioned that the piece is striking, in terms of the color scheme, and it is easy to pair with most of my clothes. But even with that being said, I realized that I don't really gravitate towards it as much as I thought I would. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I don't know if this is something that will be that will be permanent in my collection. That's all. Well, there you go. A unique piece from a very well-known company with a heritage to match, that goes well beyond its years. I hope that the video was informational and that you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the piece. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe, and click on the bell icon. It helps the channel tremendously and also motivates me personally to put more time and effort into sharing these contents with you guys. Well, that's all for today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.